If you're a SaaS startup founder, then you definitely want to avoid these mistakes that cost me millions of dollars, and I definitely don't want it to cost you millions of dollars. So if you can learn a little bit from my experience as being a SaaS founder and a 3-time B2B business owner, then I'd love for you to learn a few things here in this video so you don't get caught in the trap and you can accelerate your growth and building your company into a multi-million-dollar SaaS. Okay, so what I'm gonna focus on in this video is to help you eliminate the distractions that are blocking you from actually getting to that place. And I hope you don't mind, I've got some notes here. So I'm not highly editing this video. I just wanna give you the raw, real experience that I have and just wanna stay a little bit focused. But ultimately the goal of these distractions, although, they're really hidden distractions and they might seem minuscule, but they're blocking you from achieving the growth, the sales, and the acceleration that you really need in order to build momentum in your SaaS business. SaaS is all about momentum, and if you take that momentum away, then it's really hard to get back. And I made the mistake of getting distracted and going from 30 to 50% month over month growth to negative 5% to maybe 10% growth because I got distracted on the wrong freaking things. And I definitely don't want you to do it. So I'm gonna go through the distractions and then at the end, I'll give you some strategies to help you focus on growth instead. And along the way, I'll give you some intentions. So the biggest difference between success and failure is successful people focus on intentions. People who fail repeatedly and don't learn from it focus on distractions. All right, I learned that from a guy named Myron Golden. I would go check his YouTube channel out. It's amazing, I love it. All right, so distraction number 1, email overload, okay? Might seem minuscule, but you're spending too much time in your email, okay? And it's super, super hard to get out of that habit. And I know it because I struggle with it too. My inbox, I probably have 1,100 emails, maybe even more than that at this point, in my inbox. And I used to be an inbox 0 guy. And I just can't keep up with it anymore. And at the end of the day, all it is a big distraction to you because when's the last time, not that you don't get good emails, of course, but you know what I'm talking about. Your inbox is flooded, and although, I sell people a tool to help them with email outreach, I'm not just talking about unnecessary emails like newsletters and, nurturing emails from people that want to sell you things. I'm talking about emails even from your team internally, vendors, partners like that you're using. If you're a founder, especially early stage, your number 1 priority is growth. And your email inbox is not gonna help you with that, okay? So the number 1 intention that you can take with this whole thing is shut off your notifications. I shut off my notifications to my email a long time ago. Now I still have the problem of leaving my email up on my desktop when I'm working. So I've tried to make a conscious decision to just shut it down and instead block off time to check emails, okay? But what if there's a fire that's gonna happen? What if the business is crumbling? Look, if you're not a doctor doing open heart surgery, then the world's probably not gonna end. If your app goes down for a little bit, the world's probably not gonna end, okay? That should be your technical co-founder's job to worry about that kind of stuff, okay? So you gotta get these fears out of your head, all right? So that you don't continue to create the habit of constantly checking your email, which is distracting you from your growth, all right? Distraction number 2, unnecessary meetings. We love meetings, don't we? It's easy to have meetings, and talk about things until we're blue in the face, but at some point, you gotta actually implement and act. The meetings aren't really helping. When you're early on in your SaaS, speed and execution trumps perfection. There comes a time where you need to work to perfect things, but in the early days, you're gonna have to just do it messy and do it quick and do it fast. And holding meetings to obsess over being perfect are not gonna help, okay? It's really only gonna hurt, it's gonna slow you down. And think about the cost of the meeting. So it's not just your time, you need to start valuing your time. How much revenue, if I were focusing on sales and growth strategies for the business, how much time is that actually worth to me? Let's do some quick math. Let's just say you think in a year you could add $1 million in value to the business. Don't think about your top line sales. How much in value, in equity value, could you add to the business over a year? I'm just gonna use round number of $1 million. That means every single month that you're focused on growth, you could be adding $83,000 in value to the business, okay? So every single day, and we'll break it down in business days, you could be adding $4,000 in value to the business, all right? In terms of hourly, that's $500 an hour. So think to yourself, before you schedule a meeting, is this meeting worth paying somebody $500 for? Okay, most meetings are not. A lot of times, and not that you want another email, but sometimes emails, meetings can get solved over a simple email, and you don't need to waste 3 people's time on it, okay? So that's how I would think about unnecessary meetings. Third, micromanagement. I struggled with this a lot because the Upticks is, my little baby, right? It was my idea. I had the problem and experienced the problem with my agency that led to building the software. I obsessed over designing it early on, building it, all the features, how I wanted to do this, do that, do the other thing. But there came a time long before I actually started delegating, and I'm still not perfect at delegating, where I micromanaged too much. What I would challenge you to do is delegate something far before you feel like you're ready to do it. Because ultimately if you don't do that, you're gonna micromanage too much of the business, and you're gonna take your focus away from sales and marketing, which is gonna take away from your growth, which is gonna take away from your earning potential and your upside if you're striving for an exit, okay? So try to get micromanaging out. Again, this is still something that I struggle with because everything's so near and dear to my heart, because I've funded this whole business, came up with a lot of the ideas. Not that I don't have team members that help come up with great ideas and help execute on everything, but when it's your money on the line and it's your butt on the line to do this, you really need to focus on growth as much as possible. So relinquishing control sooner than you're comfortable, I would implore you to do. Next, multitasking. This is another one I struggle at really bad. I got I don't know if it's ADD or ADHD. I don't know what the terminology is for it, but I have a tendency to focus on too many things at one time. You know this. How many browser tabs? Look at your desktop right now or your phone. How many browser tabs do you have open? And even saying this, I still struggle with that. I got like 8 open on 2 different screens, 4 on each screen or something right now. Multitasking really makes it hard to have clarity on the intentions of what you need to do in order to grow. All right. So one of the first things I do is just start shutting down Chrome tabs, if you're using Chrome, whatever, and start making a list of priorities. I started using ClickUp for this to just keep my thoughts organized, and I'm still not perfect with the process, but I have a centralized document where I started documenting all my ideas. So a big part to my doing too many things at one time is I wasn't documenting my thoughts. Because I have ADD or ADHD, or maybe I'm a maniac, I have so many thoughts all the time that I can't keep them straight, so I'm constantly thinking from thing to thing. Well, instead of too many of my thoughts taking up space in my head, which was distracting from sales and marketing, I started documenting my thoughts. Although this is a bad habit to get into, even at night, if I was laying in bed, I couldn't sleep. All right, I'd pull up an app and I would just document the thoughts, get the thought out of my head. All right, come back to it later. that really, really helped. And that's ultimately helped me kind of focus more on sales and growth instead of the distraction of multitasking all the time, even though it's always a constant challenge, right? Next, this is no secret, this kind of goes along the line of emails, are tech distractions. Your team chat, big distraction, okay? If your team is texting too much, they're wasting a lot of their time that you probably don't want them wasting, right? Being in chats, having unnecessary conversations that don't lead to moving the business forward. All right, but you got other things. You got, social media notifications. You got everything on your phone pinging you all the time. So one of the things that I did, and I don't know what kind of phone you have, I'm sure every phone has this this day and age, is I've got a do not disturb and I have a focus mode. Pretty much throughout the day, my phone is on focus and do not disturb mode almost all the time. So I'm not getting hit up with notifications and all that kind of stuff. And I've shut down a lot of notifications on my phone. Chat notifications do not show up on my phone. I have to intentionally go and check, team chat and that kind of stuff. Eliminating those distractions is going to help focus your efforts on your sales and growth. Okay, so do that much sooner than you are comfortable in doing. Next one are low impact activities. It's really tempting to go down rabbit holes on every little micro thing. It's not really micro, it doesn't fall under micromanagement, but it sort of piggybacks on it, where there's a million things that could go wrong in your SaaS business, right? And there's a million tiny little things that go into any business, whether it's SaaS or not. And it's really easy to get distracted in every little minuscule, tiny little thing. And if you're fortunate like me and have an operating partner who's, like Dan's my chief operating officer and co-founder, I'm more of the high level, I don't know, some would call it visionary guys, right? And then Dan's more of the execution guy. Dan's great because he is really focused on the execution and he's very, very detail oriented. The downside for me is the founder who has to focus on growth is that sometimes it can be distracting, every little minuscule thing. And early on, there's the temptation to have to know everything in the business. Everybody thinks they have to know everything in the business, but you're gonna have to grow out of knowing everything, because what that's causing you to do is focus on low value activities that aren't really driving and moving the business forward. Okay? Hope that makes sense. The next one and last one before I just give you some growth strategy tips to once you eliminate all these distractions, you're gonna have some time. You've freed up big time to focus on growth. But the last one is over-analysis. Analysis paralysis, right? And I think it's Newton's first law is an object in motion tends to stay in motion. But if you get too caught up in analysis paralysis, you're frozen. You're not in motion, right? So you're not moving the business forward. By over-analyzing, you're not making progress. And an object in motion tends to stay in motion, but paralysis, you're not in motion anymore. So that means you're not growing. If you're not growing, you're not achieving the income goals, the growth goals personally, professionally. You're not achieving the potential exit that you want down the road. You're maybe not, I don't know if you aspire to build or raise funding. You're not focused on funding. You're focusing on things that really don't matter, and you're losing momentum by focusing on low value activities. All right. So that's the 6 things. There's certainly more, but I feel like those are the top 6 things to me that have really cost me millions of dollars in value and the company up to this point. So now we're trying to correct some of those things, and these are ongoing battles, of course, in the business. So now that you have a bunch of time freed up in the business, here's some higher leverage things and some intentions that you can do to replace that time that you're wasting in the business so you can focus on growth. Outreach. Use outreach to leverage your growth, okay? Cold email, cold calling, door knocking, whatever it is to grow the business, it's a high leverage task that you can do to grow your business, all right? Focus on higher ticket opportunities. In terms of outreach, focus on partnerships, focus on, podcast placements, you as the founder. Focus on things that instead of you focusing on, maybe you have a salesperson already, they can focus on going after each little business. You as the founder, go after one-to-many approach. Maybe it's a YouTube video, right? I'm creating this video, it can reach multiple people. If I'm gonna do some outreach, maybe every single day you wanna make it a goal to reach out to 5 people. Well, make it people where you can reach multiple people, network and referral partnerships, podcasts, speaking events, that kind of stuff. High leverage tasks in your business to 5x, 10x the results that you can get, all right? Building funnels, inbound funnels. This is especially depending on where you're at. Maybe you have a marketing person, they could do this, but if you're earlier stage, a high leverage task for you to do one-to-many is to build a webinar funnel, a VSL funnel, a challenge funnel, where you can attract people, you build one thing and it repeats itself. It's a 24/7 salesperson, right? A newsletter, all right? Once a week, write a newsletter, send it out to your newsletter subscribers, right? If you don't have a newsletter, go create one, okay? One-to-many, higher leverage task, right? Eventually you're gonna delegate these things. Don't hold on to them too long, all right? I already mentioned YouTube videos and then partnerships. Everything that you could do as a founder, think about one-to-many, okay? You can really accelerate that way. All right, that's everything I have, and based on my experience as a SaaS founder, the top 6 mistakes that have really cost me millions and some things that you can do to correct them and then accelerate your outreach. If you get a lot of value, I'd love if you would like the video, consider subscribing to the channel. We'd love to help you out. And if you need help with sales and outreach, we'd love for you to check out Upticks and my Cold to Gold Challenge, where we help you generate more sales and opportunities. All right, again, my name is Patrick Spielman, founder of Upticks. Hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks.